Steven Universe and all associated images are property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and any and all other respective owners. I don't know them all. All footage in this video has been used for the purpose of critique parody under fair use. Please support the official release. Yeah, that's right, you read the title correctly. Or maybe, that's right, you read the title correctly. Sorry, I don't know how much indignation to put in that, because I don't know how big this theory is going to get by the time this goes up. And if it gets big, other YouTubers are probably going to talk about it before I do. Anyway, we're talking about whether or not Steven and Lars are going to fuse in the upcoming arc of Steven Universe. Steven Bomb 6 is over now, and we all know that it is Steven and Lars who end up on their way to Homeworld at the end of the season. There are plenty of different angles from which to come at this particular theory, so I'm going to try to put my own unique spin on it by running through just a few of my reasons for why I think this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to do so by focusing on some similarities and parallels between the characters of Lars and, of all people, Amethyst, as well as some parallels between their development and some potential parallels between their development. Lars is an incredibly complex character, and I'm not gonna lie, it does annoy me, and it has been annoying me a lot lately, when people give him crap for being realistic. Already, I have gotten multiple comments and asks that seek to, at worst, demonize, and at best, point out fault in Lars for doing the sensible thing and hiding from the giant alien monster that was trying to kidnap him. I'm talking about specifically the scene where Sadie was caught by Topaz and she wanted Lars to help her and instead he hid. Yeah, that sucked. That was a dick move. But Lars is a regular human, one who we already know is far more timid than Sadie herself is. And it's not like Sadie didn't run away from the fight as soon as she could. Lars's actions in that moment were entirely sensible. Not all of Lars's actions in the past have been sensible, but that one was. And he has come a long way from the kid who used to ditch Sadie to hang out with people he didn't know nearly as well back in Joking Victim. He has come a long way from the character who came off as being emotionally manipulative and, frankly, abusive towards Sadie by acting as if he was using her and didn't actually care at all about their relationship. He has, on more than one occasion now, either heavily implied or nearly outright stated that he is in love with Sadie. And you can tell that this isn't some new development, that this has been a long time coming. But he suffers from anxiety regarding the way that other people see him. He struggles to appear cool in the eyes of his peers, despite the fact that the very peers who he is trying to impress would be more impressed if he would just open up to them. And while the parallels aren't blatant and obvious, this reminds me a lot of Amethyst, especially Amethyst early on in the show. Amethyst is a very chill character, that is definitely a fact, but a lot of her behavior came from a desire to appear as if she was able to go with the flow, as if things didn't bother her when they actually did. She worked very hard to keep up appearances around the others, so much so that she eventually snapped and ran away. It wasn't until she started to open up and talk through her hidden feelings that she began to come to terms with the aspects of herself that she didn't like. And Steven was integral in that process. Throughout the recent arc where Jasper was a brief recurring villain, Steven and Amethyst bonded in a huge way. Amethyst validated Steven, and in turn Steven validated Amethyst. He tried to reassure Amethyst that she didn't have to be anything more than she already was, but still helped her in her endeavors to improve herself. This is a lot like how Steven and Lars have become a lot closer recently since that time when Steven possessed him, and we shall never speak of it again. Steven, at this point, is one of the few people who Lars can be entirely open with. And feeling like he can be entirely open with Steven has helped him to overcome a lot of his anxiety. For example, he is now far more willing to be out and about with Sadie than he used to be, because he somehow has gotten it through his head that being seen with Sadie will make him seem uncool when exactly the opposite is true, because Sadie is awesome. But that is entirely beside the point. Steven is very good at helping people through their emotional problems. He is an extremely empathetic character, and possesses a level of emotional intelligence that you don't typically see in characters his age. Lars even points out in The Good Lars that Steven is far more mature than you might expect, in this particular area at least. And, like with Amethyst, Steven has recently been helping to encourage Lars to accept that he doesn't have to be something that he's not, that he is good enough the way he is, and that he will always have people who care about him, not the person he's trying to be, but him. You could even draw a parallel between Amethyst feeling like she could only be herself at wrestling, and Lars only feeling like he can be himself when he's alone with Sadie. And since writers and or teams of writers tend to repeat patterns in their works, I don't think that it is outside of the realms of possibility to expect that spending so much time with Steven in these upcoming episodes is going to help to further Lars's ongoing characterization the same way that spending so much time with Steven helped to further Amethyst's ongoing characterization, and that Lars's arc might end at the same point that Amethyst did, with a fusion with Steven. a fusion which would serve to also further the lore, as it would confirm for us, the audience, definitively that Steven confused with humans other than Connie. Just like fusing with Amethyst proved to us, the audience, definitively that Steven could fuse with full gems. I mean, heck, we see in the Wanted promo that Lars is kicking some serious booty. It makes sense. He and Steven get into a situation where things seem desperate, and much like the formation of Smoky Quartz, Lars and Steven fuse. I haven't thought much about what this fusion would be like. Thought a little bit about the name, though. I'm rooting for Lewin, because it reminds me of another show that I liked. But let's not kid ourselves, it's probably going to be Stars. It fits with the whole theme of the show. And I don't really know how fusing with Lars would help Steven out of the situation that he's found himself in, that being kidnapped and taken to Homeworld. And hey, maybe I'm just hoping for a repeat of the whole Smoky Quartz thing, because that was one of the high points of the show. One that I really enjoy reliving in reruns and would like to relive in a fresh episode as well, I'm not gonna lie. But I still really do think that the parallels are here, and I definitely do feel like that this is possible. But as per usual, guys, I want to know, what do you think of this theory? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.